I died on the bathroom floor, bleeding from a miscarriage while my husband stood outside the locked door telling my sister he loved her. I could hear them laughing about how pathetic I was, how I'd finally be out of their way soon. The last thing I heard was my sister's voice. Once she's gone, we can finally be together without guilt. My name is Elena Carter, and I died at 28, 7 months pregnant, while my husband of 5 years and my younger sister celebrated my imminent death like it was their wedding day. When I opened my eyes again, I was sitting in a lawyer's office, staring at divorce papers my husband had just slid across the desk. I was 24 again, 4 months into a pregnancy I hadn't told anyone about yet. Elena, just sign, my husband Ryan said, his voice cold. We both know this marriage is over. Beside him sat my sister Mia, 22 and beautiful, holding his hand like she had every right to. She looked at me with fake sympathy that barely hid her triumph. In my previous life I had begged. I had cried. I had asked him to reconsider, to remember the love we'd shared, to give me one more chance. I had refused to sign for 3 months, hoping he'd change his mind, until the stress caused my miscarriage and ultimately my death. This time I picked up the pen without hesitation. Where do I sign? I asked calmly. Ryan's eyes widened. He'd been prepared for tears, for drama. For me to make this difficult. You're just going to sign? Isn't that what you want? I looked at Mia, whose expression had shifted from triumph to confusion. You two clearly want to be together. I'm not going to stand in your way. Elena, Mia started, her voice sugary sweet. I'm so sorry it has to be this way. But Ryan and we just fell in love. We couldn't help it. I signed the first page. You fell in love with my husband while I was working 3 jobs to pay off his business debts. How romantic. Ryan's jaw tightened. That's not fair. You're making it sound like you're a cheating piece of garbage. I signed the second page. Like my baby sister betrayed me in the worst way possible. I signed the third page. No, I'm just stating facts. I pushed the papers back across the desk. I want the apartment. Everything else you can have. The lawyer, Mr. Chun, cleared his throat. Mrs. Carter, are you sure? You're entitled to half of the apartment, I repeated firmly. That's all I want. In exchange, he can keep the business, the car, everything else. I just want this over with quickly. Ryan and Mia exchanged glances. They'd expected a fight. They'd prepared for me to demand half of everything, to drag this out, to make their lives difficult. Instead, I was handing them exactly what they wanted. Fine, Ryan said quickly, before I could change my mind. That's fair. Perfect. I stood up. Mr. Chun will contact you about finalizing everything. I'm moving out of the apartment this week. You two can have whatever life you want. As I reached the door, Mia called out, Elena, I hope we can still be sisters. I hope someday you'll forgive me. I turned back. In my previous life, I'd wanted so desperately to believe she still loved me, that this was just a terrible mistake. I'd forgiven her, tried to maintain a relationship, let her guilt trip me into babysitting their children while my own health deteriorated. Mia, I said softly, you were never my sister. Sisters don't steal. They don't betray. They don't celebrate when you're dying. I smiled. Good luck with your new life. You're going to need it. I walked out, leaving them both staring after me in shock. Outside, I immediately called the one person I knew I could trust, my best friend Jessica, who I'd pushed away in my previous life because Mia had convinced me Jessica was jealous of our family. Jess? It's Elena. Can I come over? I need help with something. Of course. Are you okay? You sound different. I'm better than I've been in years, I said. And for the first time since I'd been reborn, I meant it. Jessica's apartment was small but warm. She made tea while I told her everything, except the rebirth part. I told her about the affair, the divorce, my decision to walk away clean. I can't believe Mia would do that, Jessica said, her face flushed with anger. And Ryan? That bastard. Elena, you could take him for everything. Why are you just letting them have it all? Because I don't want anything that ties me to either of them, I said. I want a fresh start. What about your mom? She's going to side with Mia, you know she will. I nodded. My mother had always favored Mia. The pretty one, the charming one, the one who could do no wrong. In my previous life, she blamed me for the divorce, said I must have driven Ryan away, must have failed as a wife. Let her, I said. I'm done trying to win her approval. Jessica studied my face. You really are different. It's like you woke up. If only she knew how literal that was. Jess, I need your help with something else. I need to find a good job fast. And I need to find a doctor. A doctor? Are you sick? I put my hand on my stomach. I'm pregnant. For months. And before you ask, yes, Ryan's the father. And no, I'm not telling him. Jessica's eyes went wide. Elena, you can't. He has a right to know. Does he? I interrupted. The man who just divorced me to be with my sister? The man who's been cheating on me for months? What right does he have to my child? But legally. Legally, we're getting divorced. I'll be gone before I start showing. I'll have the baby somewhere far away, and Ryan will never know. I looked at her intently. Can you help me? Please. Jessica was quiet for a long moment. Where will you go? I don't know yet. Somewhere he won't think to look. Maybe another city, maybe another country. This is crazy. Probably. But it's my choice. In my marriage, nothing was ever my choice. This baby is mine. Jessica nodded slowly. Okay. I know someone who might be able to help. My cousin David runs a small tech company in Seattle. He's always looking for good people, and he asks no questions about people's pasts. Can you call him? I'll do better than that. I'll fly out there with you, help you get settled. Jess, I can't ask you to. You're not asking. I'm offering. You're my best friend, Elena. And honestly, she smiled. I've always wanted to move to Seattle. 2 weeks later, I was on a plane to Seattle with one suitcase and Jessica beside me. I'd signed away my marriage, my old life, everything that had tied me to Ryan and Mia. And I'd never felt more free. Seattle was rainy and cold, but it felt like a fresh start. David Chun, no relation to the lawyer, was in his early 30s, brilliant, and completely focused on his growing tech company. When Jessica introduced us, he barely looked up from his computer. Jessica says you need a job and no drama, he said bluntly. What can you do? I have a degree in business management and 5 years of experience managing operations for a startup, I said. I can work long hours, I'm detail-oriented, and I promise zero personal drama. You're pregnant, he observed. That's not drama? I blinked surprised. How did you know? You put your hand on your stomach twice in the last 5 minutes. Classic tell. He finally looked up at me. I don't care if you're pregnant. I care if you can do the job. Can you? Yes. Good. You start Monday. Healthcare kicks in immediately. Jessica will show you the office. That was it. No questions about my past, no judgment, just pure business. Over the next 4 months, I threw myself into work. David's company was developing software for medical applications, and my organizational skills were exactly what they needed. I streamlined their operations, improved their efficiency, and helped them land 2 major contracts. David noticed. You're good at this. Better than good. Thank you. Why did you leave your last job? Personal reasons. Fair enough. He paused. The baby's father. He's not in the picture. No. And he won't be. David nodded, respecting my boundaries. We're launching a new project. I want you to lead it. It means more responsibility, more hours, but significantly more pay. Interested. Very. Good. We're meeting with investors next month. I want you there. When I was 7 months pregnant, I gave birth to a healthy baby boy. I named him Ethan, a name that had nothing to do with Ryan or my old life. Jessica was there, holding my hand through labor. David sent flowers and a card. Take all the time you need. Your job is waiting. I looked at my son and felt something I hadn't felt in either of my lives. Pure, uncomplicated joy. This baby was mine alone. No one could take him from me. No one could use him to hurt me. Hello, Ethan, I whispered. Welcome to our new life. I took 3 months off, then returned to work with Ethan in tow. David had already converted a storage room into a nursery. You can't work effectively if you're worried about childcare, he said simply. Problem solved. David, this is too much. It's practical. You're my best employee. I'm investing in keeping you happy. Over the next 3 years, David's company grew exponentially. My project became their flagship product, used in hospitals across the country. My salary tripled, then quadrupled. I bought a house. I had savings. I was building something real. Ethan grew into a curious, bright-eyed toddler who loved books and asked endless questions. He had Ryan's dark hair and my green eyes, and every time I looked at him, I was grateful I'd chosen to keep him to myself. Jessica met someone. A kind man named Tom who loved her completely. They got married in a small ceremony with Ethan as the ring bearer. "You should date," Jessica told me at the reception. "You're young, successful, beautiful. You deserve love." "I have love," I said, watching Ethan dance with Tom. "I have everything I need." "I know you do. But don't you want someone to share it with?" I thought about that. In my previous life, I'd been so desperate for Ryan's love that I destroyed myself trying to earn it. This time, I'd built a life without needing anyone's approval. "Maybe someday," I said. "But I'm in no rush." David overheard us. "For what it's worth, you're doing an amazing job. As a mother, as a professional, as a human being. Anyone would be lucky to have you in their life." I smiled. "Thank you, David. I mean it." He paused. "I know it's not my business, but whoever Ethan's father is, he's an idiot for not being here. If only he knew." 4 years after my divorce, David's company went public. We'd grown from a small startup to a major player in medical software. As chief operations officer, I owned significant equity in the company. When the stock hit the market, I became a millionaire overnight. "We should celebrate," David said, popping a bottle of champagne in the office. "You made this happen, Elena. This company wouldn't exist without you." "You built it," I protested. "I had the idea. You made it work." He poured champagne into glasses. "To partnership. To success. To the future." We clinked glasses, and I felt a sense of satisfaction I'd never experienced in my previous life. I'd built this. Me. Not because I was trying to please someone else or save someone else's dreams, but because I was good at what I did. That evening, Jessica called. "Elena, I need to tell you something. Tom and I are moving back home." My heart sank. "Why?" "His father is sick. We need to be closer to family." "I'm so sorry. I know it's sudden." "Don't apologize. Family is important. Will you be okay?" "Jess, I'm more than okay. I'm thriving." "I know, but you'll be in Seattle alone." "I have David. I have work. I have Ethan. I'll be fine." After we hung up, I sat in Ethan's room watching him sleep. He was 4 years old now, smart and funny and full of life. He'd never asked about his father. He didn't know he was supposed to have one. "Mama," he mumbled half asleep. "I'm here, baby. Love you." "Love you too." The next morning, David asked to meet me in his office. "Jessica told me she's leaving," he said. "How are you handling it?" "I'm fine. A little sad, but fine." "Elena, I want to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me." "Okay. Do you ever regret it? Whatever decision made you come to Seattle 4 years ago?" I thought about Ryan, about Mia, about the life I'd left behind. About dying alone on a bathroom floor while they celebrated. "Not for a second." David nodded. "Good. Because I have a proposition for you. I want to expand the company internationally. I want to open an office back east, probably New York or Boston. And I want you to run it." "David, that's..." "Think about it. More money, more responsibility, a chance to be closer to your roots if you want. Or you can stay here and keep doing what you're doing. Either way, you have a place in this company. Can I have some time to think about it?" "Take all the time you need." That night I couldn't sleep. Going back east meant potentially running into Ryan or Mia. It meant risking them discovering Ethan. But it also meant showing everyone what I'd become without them. I made my decision. "I'll do it," I told David the next morning. "But I want to open the office in Boston, not New York." "Any particular reason?" "New York is where I'm from. Boston is where I'm going." David smiled. "Boston it is." 3 months later, Ethan and I moved to Boston. The new office was sleek and modern, and I had a team of 20 brilliant people working under me. Within 6 months, we'd secured contracts with 3 major hospital networks. I was flying back from a meeting in New York when it happened. I was walking through the airport terminal, Ethan's hand in mine as he chattered about the airplane, when I heard a voice I'd never thought I'd hear again. Elena. I turned slowly. Ryan stood frozen in the middle of the terminal, staring at me like he'd seen a ghost. He looked older, tired. There were lines around his eyes that hadn't been there 4 years ago. Ryan, I said calmly. His eyes dropped to Ethan, who was looking up at this strange man with curiosity. Ryan's face went white. Ethan had his eyes, his hair, his jawline. There was no mistaking the resemblance. Is he? Ryan's voice broke. Elena, is he mine? I smiled. I have a flight to catch. Excuse me. I walked past him, Ethan's hand still in mine. Elena, wait. Ryan grabbed my arm. I turned back, and something in my expression made him immediately let go. Don't touch me, I said quietly. That boy. He's mine, isn't he? He's my son. He's my son. Elena, please. I have a right to know. You have no rights. You signed those away when you divorced me from my sister. Ryan's eyes were wild now, desperate. I didn't know you were pregnant. You never told me. Why would I? You made it very clear you wanted nothing to do with me. But he's my child. He's my child, I repeated firmly. You're just a stranger who happened to provide half his DNA. I want to know him. I want to be his father. I looked at Ryan for a long moment. In my previous life I would have caved, would have felt guilty for keeping Ethan from his father, would have convinced myself that every child deserved to know both parents. This time I knew better. Tell me, Ryan. How's Mia? His face closed off. That's none of your business. Exactly. Just like my son is none of yours. I leaned closer. You chose her over me. Over your marriage. Over the life we could have had together. You don't get to regret that choice now just because you've discovered there were consequences. Elena, please. Goodbye, Ryan. I walked away, and this time he didn't follow. Ethan looked up at me. Who was that man, Mama? No one important, sweetheart. But I knew it wasn't over. Ryan had seen Ethan. He knew the truth. And he wouldn't let it go. I was right. 2 days later my doorbell rang. I opened it to find Ryan standing there with a woman I didn't recognize. Lawyer from the expensive suit. Elena, this is Patricia Moore. She's a family law attorney. I crossed my arms. I'm not interested in whatever this is. Mrs. Carter, Patricia said smoothly. My client simply wants to establish paternity and work out a custody arrangement. There is no custody to arrange, I interrupted. Ryan is not on Ethan's birth certificate. He has no legal claim to my son. We can petition for a paternity test. Go ahead. And while you're filing paperwork, I'll file for harassment. I'll tell the court about how Ryan discovered Ethan's existence purely by coincidence, and is now demanding access to a child he knew nothing about for 4 years. Patricia's expression shifted slightly. Mrs. Carter, surely you can see that preventing a father from knowing his child. I'm not preventing anything. Ryan chose to divorce me and marry my sister. I chose to move on with my life and raise my son alone. Those were both choices we made freely. Ryan stepped forward. Elena, I made a mistake. I know I did. But Ethan deserves to know his father. Does he? What exactly will you tell him? That you divorced his mother to marry his aunt? That you didn't know he existed because you were too busy starting a new family? Ryan flinched. How is Mia, by the way? I asked sweetly. Does she know you're here? We're having problems. What a shame. And here I thought you two were true love. Don't do this, Elena. Don't use our son as revenge. I'm not using him as anything. I'm protecting him. From you. From your drama. From your instability. I'm his father. You're a sperm donor who got lucky, I said coldly. Being a father requires more than biology. It requires showing up. Being there. Putting your child first. You've never done any of that. Patricia intervened. Mr. Carter has rights. Then take me to court, I said. Get your paternity test. File your motion. And I'll make sure every judge knows exactly what kind of man Ryan Carter is. After they left, I called David. I need a lawyer. The best family law attorney you know. What happened? I told him everything about Ryan, about Mia, about the divorce and the pregnancy and the 4 years of silence. Elena, why didn't you tell me? David asked quietly. I didn't want anyone's pity. I wanted a fresh start. It was never pity. You're the strongest person I know. He paused. I'll call my sister. She's a family law specialist and she's ruthless. Thank you, David. Elena? Whatever happens, Ethan has a family here. You both do. Remember that. That night, I held Ethan while he slept and wondered if I'd made the right choice. In my previous life, I died before Ethan was born. This time I had him, but keeping him safe meant constant vigilance. Was I being selfish? Was I wrong to keep him from Ryan? Then I remembered. Ryan had let me die. He'd stood outside that bathroom door with Mia, celebrating my death, while I'd bled out carrying his child. No, I wasn't being selfish. I was being smart. The custody case moved forward. David's sister, Margaret Chun, was everything he'd promised, brilliant, ruthless, and completely on my side. Ryan's case is weak, she told me during our first meeting. He abandoned you during the divorce, he's not on the birth certificate, and he's only claiming paternity now after accidentally discovering the child. No judge will look favorably on that. But he is the biological father. Biology isn't everything. The court's primary concern is the child's best interest. And right now, Ethan has a stable home, a successful mother, and no need for an unstable father figure. Unstable? Margaret smiled. Let me investigate Ryan's life. I have a feeling we'll find things that make his custody claim look very bad. She was right. 3 weeks later, Margaret presented me with a folder. Ryan's marriage to Mia is failing. They've separated twice in the last year. His business, the one you supported while you were married, went bankrupt 8 months ago. He's in significant debt. He's currently living with his parents and working as a sales associate at an electronics store. I stared at the information, feeling nothing. In my previous life, I would have felt guilty, would have wanted to help. This time, I just felt vindicated. There's more, Margaret continued. Mia cheated on him. Multiple times. With multiple men. Ryan found out 6 months ago. They tried counseling, but it's not working. So he's alone, broke, and desperate, I summarized. Exactly. And now he's discovered he has a son. A son whose mother is successful, wealthy, and completely independent. Of course he wants custody. Ethan represents stability he doesn't have. He wants my life. He wants access to your life. And we're not going to let him have it. The court date arrived. I dressed carefully in a professional suit. Ethan at daycare with a trusted friend. Margaret sat beside me, calm and confident. Ryan arrived with Patricia and Mia. I stared at my sister for the first time in 4 years. She looked thin, tired. There were dark circles under her eyes. She kept glancing at Ryan nervously. When our eyes met, something flickered in her expression. Guilt? Fear? Regret? I turned away. The hearing was brutal. Ryan's lawyer painted me as a vindictive ex-wife who'd hidden a child out of spite. Margaret systematically destroyed every argument, presenting evidence of Ryan's financial instability, his failed marriage, his complete absence from Ethan's life. Your Honor, Margaret said clearly, Mr. Carter is not seeking custody out of love for this child. He's seeking it because he wants access to Ms. Carter's success. He wants to reclaim a life he voluntarily abandoned 4 years ago. The judge looked at Ryan. Mr. Carter, you weren't aware of this child's existence until 3 weeks ago? No, Your Honor. Elena never told me she was pregnant. Why do you think that was? Ryan faltered. I don't know. Miss Carter, the judge turned to me. Can you tell the court why you didn't inform Mr. Carter about your pregnancy? I stood. Your Honor, my ex-husband divorced me to be with my younger sister. He made it very clear during our divorce that he wanted nothing to do with me. I was 4 months pregnant at the time, and I made the decision that my child deserved better than a father who'd already demonstrated he was willing to abandon his family for personal desires. But he didn't know about the pregnancy, the judge pointed out. No, he didn't. Because I knew if I told him, he would either pressure me to terminate the pregnancy or use the baby to manipulate me back into his life. I wanted neither of those outcomes. So you made a unilateral decision about his parental rights? I made a decision about my child's well-being, I corrected. Just as Mr. Carter made a unilateral decision about our marriage when he chose to have an affair with my sister. The judge was quiet for a moment. Mr. Carter, what changed between the divorce and now? Ryan glanced at Mia, then away. I made a mistake. I should never have divorced Elena. I realize that now. You realize it now that you've seen she's successful in raising a child alone? No, Mr. Carter, according to the evidence presented, your current marriage is failing. Your business failed. You're in debt. And now you want custody of a child you didn't know existed until 3 weeks ago. Can you understand why this court might question your motivations? Ryan's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client's financial situation is temporary. He's working to rebuild. With what resources? The judge interrupted. He's living with his parents and earning minimum wage. How does he propose to support a child? Child support from Ms. Carter. So your client wants Ms. Carter to pay him to take her child? The judge looked incredulous. I sat back watching this unfold. Margaret had been right. Ryan's case was falling apart. The judge made his ruling. Paternity test approved, but no custody or visitation rights until Ryan could demonstrate stability. The case would be reviewed in 1 year. It was a victory, but a temporary one. Outside the courthouse, Mia caught up with me. Elena, please. Can we talk? No. I'm sorry. For everything. I know that doesn't mean anything now, but I need you to know I'm sorry. I turned to face her. You're sorry? After 4 years, you're sorry. I was young and stupid. I didn't understand what I was doing. You knew exactly what you were doing, I interrupted. You wanted what I had and you took it. And now that it's turned to dust, you want sympathy. I don't want sympathy. I want my sister back. I laughed. Your sister died 4 years ago, Mia. You killed her when you decided sleeping with her husband was worth destroying your family. Elena, how's Ryan as a husband? I asked. Is he faithful? Devoted? Does he make you feel special? Mia's eyes filled with tears. We're getting divorced. I know. Margaret told me. He cheated on me. Multiple times. He said he was trying to get back at me for what I did to you. So you both destroyed your marriage trying to hurt each other? How poetic. I deserve that. I deserve all of this. Mia wiped her eyes. But I miss you. I miss my sister. Then you should have thought of that before you slept with my husband. Can't you forgive me? It's been 4 years. Forgiveness isn't a timer, Mia. You don't get to do something unforgivable, and then demand I forgive you because enough time has passed. Then what do I have to do? Nothing. There's nothing you can do. Because I don't want you in my life. I don't want your apologies. I don't want your regret. I want you to leave me and my son alone. I walked away, and this time I didn't look back. 1 month later, the paternity test results came back. As expected, Ryan was confirmed as Ethan's biological father. But the judge's ruling stood. No custody, no visitation, review in 1 year. Ryan called me. I almost didn't answer. Elena. What do you want, Ryan? I want to know my son. That's not going to happen. You can't keep him from me forever. I'm not keeping him from you. The court is. Because you're unstable and unreliable. I'm his father. Then act like it. I snapped. Get your life together. Get a real job. Pay off your debts. Prove you're capable of being a father. Then maybe we can discuss supervised visitation. And if I do all that, then we'll see. I will do it, Elena. I'll prove to you that I can be the father Ethan deserves. Don't do it for me. Do it for him. 6 months passed. I heard through mutual acquaintances that Ryan had gotten a better job. That he'd moved into his own apartment. That he was attending therapy and working on himself. Part of me was glad. Part of me was terrified. Then David called me into his office. Elena, I need to tell you something. Okay. I'm selling the company. My heart dropped. What? A major corporation made an offer. It's too good to refuse. Everyone on the executive team will get significant payouts, including you. How significant? You'll be able to retire before you're 40, or start your own company, or do whatever you want. I sat down heavily. I don't know what to say. Say yes. Say you'll use this opportunity to build whatever life you want. You've earned it. The sale went through. My payout was more money than I'd ever imagined having. I was financially set for life. For the first time since I'd been reborn, I had no plan, no goal, no clear next step. Just infinite possibility. What should I do? I asked Jessica over video chat. Whatever makes you happy. What if I don't know what that is? Then you figure it out. You have time now. You have money. You have options. Just live. I thought about that. Living. Not surviving, not fighting, not proving anything to anyone. Just living. I took Ethan on a trip to Europe. We spent 3 months traveling, seeing museums, eating strange foods, experiencing life outside our bubble. Mama, are we ever going home? Ethan asked one evening in Paris. Do you want to? I miss my room. And my friends. Then we'll go home. Back in Boston, I bought a bigger house with a yard. I enrolled Ethan in a better school. I started volunteering at a women's shelter, helping women who were leaving abusive relationships. 1 year after the custody hearing, we were back in court. Ryan arrived looking different, healthier, more stable. He'd gained weight, gotten a good haircut, was wearing a nice suit. Your Honor, his new lawyer said. My client has spent the last year rebuilding his life specifically so he could be part of his son's life. He has stable employment, his own apartment, and has completed therapy. The judge looked at Ryan. Mr. Carter, what changed? I did, Your Honor. I realized that Elena was right. I needed to prove I was capable of being a father before I could demand the right to be one. The judge turned to me. Miss Carter, your thoughts? I stood. Your Honor, I acknowledge Mr. Carter's efforts. However, Ethan doesn't know him. To Ethan, Ryan is a stranger. I don't object to supervised visitation, but I think we need to move slowly for Ethan's sake. The judge agreed. Supervised visitation, 2 hours every other week, building gradually to unsupervised time if things went well. It was more than I wanted to give, but less than Ryan had hoped for. We were both compromising. The first visitation was awkward. Ethan clung to my leg, uncertain about this strange man who kept looking at him with tears in his eyes. Hi, Ethan, Ryan said softly. My name is Ryan. I'm your father. Ethan looked up at me. Mama. It's okay, sweetheart. He's a friend. You can talk to him if you want. Over the next few months, Ethan slowly warmed up to Ryan. They went to parks, to movies, to ice cream shops. Ryan sent me photos after each visit. Ethan laughing, Ethan playing, Ethan happy. And each photo felt like a small piece of my protection crumbling. 6 months into the visitation schedule, Ryan asked to talk to me privately. Thank you, he said, for giving me this chance. I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for Ethan. I know, but still. Thank you. He paused. Elena, I need you to know something. I'm not trying to take him from you. I'm not trying to replace you. I just want to be part of his life. And when you get tired of him, when being a father becomes inconvenient, what then? That won't happen. You said you loved me once too. You said vows. You made promises. And then you broke all of them for my sister. Ryan flinched. I can't change the past, but I can try to do better in the future. Can you? Because from where I'm standing, you only care about Ethan now because you're alone. What happens when you meet someone new? When you remarry? When you have other children? Then Ethan will have siblings. A family. He already has a family. Me. I know. And I'm not trying to replace you. I just want to add to his life, not take away from it. I studied his face, looking for the lie, the manipulation, the ulterior motive. But all I saw was genuine remorse and determination. One mistake, I said quietly. You get one mistake with him, Ryan. One time you disappoint him, one time you let him down, one time you put yourself before him, and you're done. I will take him so far away you'll never find us. I understand. Do you? Because in my previous, I stopped myself. Because I know what it's like to love someone who disappoints you over and over. I won't let Ethan experience that. He won't. I promise. 3 months later, Ryan asked if Ethan could spend a weekend with him. Every instinct screamed no. But Ethan had been asking. And legally, Ryan was within his rights. Okay, I said reluctantly. But I want video calls every night. And if he asks to come home, you bring him immediately. Deal. That weekend was the longest of my life. I cleaned the house twice, reorganized my office, couldn't sleep. When Ethan came home Sunday evening, he was full of stories about the zoo and pizza and a movie. Did you have fun? I asked, hugging him tight. So much fun. Can I go again next weekend? My heart cracked a little. We'll see. Ryan stood in the doorway watching us. He's an amazing kid, Elena. You've done an incredible job raising him. Thank you. I mean it. He's kind and smart and funny. That's all you. After he left, I sat with Ethan while he told me every detail of his weekend. And I realized something. I was terrified not because Ryan might hurt Ethan, but because Ethan might love him. And if Ethan loved Ryan, where did that leave me? 1 year after visitation started, David called. Elena, I have news. Good news. I'm getting married. I smiled. David, that's wonderful. Who is she? Her name is Sarah. She's a pediatric surgeon. We met through work. He paused. I want you and Ethan at the wedding. Of course we'll be there. There's something else. Sarah and I are moving to San Francisco. She got an offer from Stanford Hospital. My heart sank. Oh, I know. But Elena, you've built something incredible here in Boston. You don't need me anymore. I'll always need you. You gave me a chance when no one else would. And you gave me a company to be proud of. I think we're even. At David's wedding, I watched him marry Sarah, a brilliant, kind woman who looked at him the way I'd once looked at Ryan, before everything fell apart. You could have that, Jessica whispered beside me. If you let yourself. Have what? Love. Partnership. Someone to share your life with. I have Ethan. I know. But he's growing up. In a few years he'll be in school full-time. Then middle school. Then high school. And then he'll leave. What will you have then? I didn't answer because I didn't know. After the wedding, a man approached me at the reception. Elena Carter? I'm Michael Torres. I work with Sarah at the hospital. Nice to meet you. David talks about you all the time. Says you're the most brilliant operations mind he's ever known. That's very kind. I'm serious. I'm starting a medical device company. We're in early stages, but we need someone who understands both business and healthcare. Interested. I'm retired. Retired at 32? That seems like a waste. I looked at him, mid-30s, confident smile, intelligent eyes. Why me? Because David says you're the best. And I only work with the best. I'll think about it. He handed me his card. Please do. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Michael's offer, about David moving away, about Ethan growing up, about the fact that I'd built a perfect life but somehow still felt incomplete. At 2 a.m. my phone rang. Elena? It's Ryan. I'm at the hospital. It's Mia. My blood ran cold. What happened? Car accident. It's bad. She's asking for you. Why would she ask for me? Because she's dying, Elena. And she says she needs to tell you something. I called Jessica to watch Ethan, then drove to the hospital. Part of me wondered why I was even going. Mia had destroyed my life, stolen my husband, betrayed me in the worst way possible. But she was still my sister. And some part of me, the part that remembered when we were children, before jealousy and competition tore us apart, couldn't let her die alone. Ryan met me in the waiting room. He looked wrecked. The doctors don't think she'll make it through the night, he said. What happened? She was drinking. Drove into a tree. On purpose. I don't know. Maybe. He looked at me with red-rimmed eyes. She's been depressed for months. Since the divorce. Since everything fell apart. That's not my fault. I know. But she kept saying she destroyed her family, destroyed her life, destroyed everything good. I didn't realize how bad it was. A doctor approached. Miss Carter? Your sister is awake. She's asking for you. I followed the doctor to Mia's room. She was barely recognizable. Face swollen, body broken, machines beeping around her. Elena, she whispered. You came. What did you need to tell me? The truth. About everything. She coughed, wincing. I was jealous of you. My whole life I was jealous. You were smarter, more capable, more loved. I couldn't compete. So you stole my husband? I wanted to prove I could take something from you. That I could win for once. Tears ran down her face. But I didn't win. I lost everything. And I made you lose everything too. I didn't lose everything. I built a new life. I know. Ryan told me. You're successful, rich, happy. You have a son. She smiled weakly. I'm glad. I'm glad you got away from us. Mia. There's something else. Something I need to tell you before I die. You're not going to die. Don't lie. We both know I'm not leaving this room. She grabbed my hand with surprising strength. Ryan never loved me. Not really. He was using me to hurt you. To punish you for being everything he wasn't. I don't understand. Your marriage failed because Ryan was threatened by you. You were smarter, stronger, more successful. He couldn't handle being second best. So he destroyed you by taking the one person who should have been loyal to you. You're saying he manipulated you? I'm saying we both did terrible things, but I was too stupid to see I was being used. She coughed again, harder this time. Ryan knew taking me would hurt you more than any affair. He wanted to break you completely. Why are you telling me this? Because you need to know. You need to understand who he really is before you let him into your son's life. It's too late. He already has visitation. Then protect Ethan. Please. Don't let Ryan do to him what he did to us. The machine started beeping frantically. Doctors rushed in. You need to leave, a nurse said, pushing me toward the door. I stood in the hallway, numb as they tried to save Mia. 20 minutes later, a doctor emerged. I'm sorry. We did everything we could. Mia was gone. I should have felt something, grief, anger, relief, but all I felt was exhausted. My sister had spent her last moments warning me about Ryan, trying to protect me the way she should have 4 years ago. Too little, too late. Ryan found me in the hallway. Is she? She's gone. He collapsed into a chair, his head in his hands. This is my fault. All of it. If I hadn't. Stop, I said. You don't get to make her death about you. Elena. Mia told me what you did. How you used her to hurt me. How you manipulated her because you couldn't handle being married to someone more successful than you. Ryan's face went white. That's not. Was any of it real? The affair, the love, the divorce? Or was it all just an elaborate plan to destroy me? At first. He swallowed hard. First it was about pride. You were right. I couldn't handle that you were better at everything. That your career took off while mine failed. That everyone saw you as the successful one and me as the husband who got lucky. So you destroyed our marriage. I wanted to hurt you. To prove I had power over you. Taking Mia was. He closed his eyes. It was the cruelest thing I could do. And then it became real. The affair, I convinced myself I really loved her. That it wasn't about hurting you anymore. But it was always about hurting me. Yes. He looked at me with tears streaming down his face. I'm a terrible person, Elena. I know that now. But Ethan. Don't, I warned. Don't you dare use my son to make yourself feel better about what you've done. I love him. You love the idea of him. You love that being his father makes you feel like less of a failure. But you don't actually know him. You don't know his favorite book or what he's afraid of or what makes him laugh. Then let me learn. Please. I know I don't deserve it, but... You're right. You don't deserve it. But Ethan does. He deserves to know his father. Even if his father is a manipulative, insecure man who destroyed 2 women because he couldn't handle his own inadequacy. Ryan stared at me. You're still going to let me see him? For now. But the moment you start using him the way you used Mia and me, the moment you start manipulating him or making him feel less than, I will take him and disappear. Do you understand? I understand. Good. Because I'm done being destroyed by you, Ryan. And I won't let you destroy my son. I walked away, leaving him crying in that hospital hallway, just like he'd left me dying on a bathroom floor in another life. 3 months after Mia's funeral, I accepted Michael Torres's job offer. Felt good to have purpose again, to build something new. Michael was brilliant and focused, and working with him reminded me of my early days with David, before success, before comfort, when everything was just potential waiting to be realized. You're incredible at this, Michael said after I'd restructured our entire operation in 2 weeks. Why did you ever retire? I didn't have a reason to work anymore. Now I do. What changed? I thought about Mia's death, about Ryan's confession, about the realization that I'd been living in a holding pattern for 4 years. I remembered that I'm good at building things, and I got tired of standing still. 6 months later, our company launched our first product, a revolutionary monitoring device for premature infants. Hospitals across the country wanted it. We did it, Michael said, popping champagne in the office. We actually did it. We did. He poured 2 glasses. Elena, I need to tell you something. Okay. I'm attracted to you. Have been since we met. But I didn't say anything because you were my business partner, and I didn't want to complicate things. I stared at him. Michael. I know. Terrible timing. We just launched. You're dealing with your ex. You have a son. But I couldn't not tell you. I don't know what to say. Say you'll think about it. Say there's a possibility. Say you're not completely opposed to the idea of us being more than business partners. I looked at Michael, kind, intelligent, respectful. Nothing like Ryan. Nothing like the men who'd hurt me. I'll think about it, I said. That's all I ask. That night, Ethan asked me a question that changed everything. Mama, are you lonely? I looked up from my book. What makes you ask that? You're always by yourself. Except for me. Don't you want someone? I have you. But what about when I grow up? Don't you want someone to watch movies with and eat dinner with? Out of the mouths of babes. Would it bother you if I dated someone? I asked. Ethan thought about it. Is it Ryan? No. Definitely not Ryan. Then I think it would be okay. As long as he's nice to you. What if he's nice to both of us? Ethan smiled. Then that would be good. I called Michael the next morning. I've thought about it, I said. And I'd like to have dinner with you. Just the 2 of us. No business talk. I can do that. Our first date was awkward. I hadn't dated in over 8 years, and I had no idea how to do this without the weight of my past crushing everything. You seem nervous, Michael observed. I am. This is weird. Why? Because the last man I dated destroyed my life. And the man before that. I stopped. I don't have a great track record. I'm not them. I know. That's what scares me. Why does that scare you? Because you're good. And kind. And if I let myself care about you, you could hurt me in ways Ryan never could. Michael reached across the table and took my hand. Elena, I can't promise I'll never hurt you. But I can promise I'll never intentionally hurt you. I'll never manipulate you or use you or make you feel less than. As I see you. All of you. And I like what I see. I felt tears prick my eyes. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Then the men in your past were idiots. We dated for 6 months before I introduced him to Ethan. I was terrified, but Michael was perfect, bringing age-appropriate gifts, engaging Ethan in conversation about dinosaurs and space, never trying too hard to be liked. After he left, Ethan turned to me. I like him, Mama. Yeah, he's nice. And he makes you smile. Does that bother you? No. You deserve to smile. 2 years after Mia's death, Ryan asked to speak with me privately. I'm getting remarried, he said. I felt nothing. Congratulations. Her name is Amanda. She's a teacher. I've been seeing her for about a year. That's nice. I wanted you to know before I told Ethan. I wanted to make sure you were okay with it. Ryan, you don't need my permission to remarry. I know. But Amanda wants to meet Ethan. She wants to be part of his life. Then introduce them. If Ethan likes her, great. If he doesn't, respect that. You're being very understanding about this. I'm being practical. You're Ethan's father. You're going to have other relationships. As long as you treat him well, I don't care who you marry. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. For everything I did to you. For the person I was. I know. Do you forgive me? I thought about that. Did I forgive Ryan? Did I need to? I don't forgive you, I said finally. But I don't hate you either. You're just someone I used to know. Someone who hurt me but also gave me the greatest gift of my life. I gestured to Ethan playing in the park. So I don't forgive you, but I'm grateful for him. And that's enough. Ryan nodded. That's more than I deserve. Yes, it is. 3 years after Mia's death, Michael proposed. We were on a beach in Hawaii, Ethan building sandcastles nearby, when Michael got down on one knee. Elena Carter, you are the strongest, smartest, most incredible woman I've ever known. You've built a life from ashes. You've raised an amazing son alone. You've built a successful company. And somehow, impossibly, you've let me into your heart. Will you marry me? I looked at the ring, simple, elegant, perfect. Then I looked at Ethan, who was watching with wide eyes. What do you think, sweetheart? I called to him. Should I marry Michael? Ethan ran over. Are you going to be my dad? He asked Michael. I'm going to be your stepdad, Michael corrected. You already have a dad. But I'll be there for you too if you want me to be. Do you promise to be nice to my mom? I promise. And you'll play with me even when you're tired? Even when I'm tired. And you won't leave us? Michael looked at me, then back at Ethan. I will never ever leave you. Either of you. I promise. Ethan thought about it, then nodded. Okay. You can marry her. I laughed through tears. Then I guess my answer is yes. Our wedding was small, just close friends and family. Ethan was the ring bearer, serious and proud in his little suit. David flew in from San Francisco. Jessica and Tom came from their new home in Seattle. Even Ryan came, sitting quietly in the back with Amanda. When Michael and I exchanged vows, I thought about how different this was from my first wedding. With Ryan, I'd been desperate, needy, convinced that marriage would fix everything broken inside me. With Michael, I was whole, complete, choosing to share my life, not trying to complete it. I promise to be your partner, I said. Not your project. To love you as you are, not who I want you to be. To build a life with you, not for you. I promise to see you, Michael replied. To support you, to never make you feel less than. To love Ethan as my own. To choose you every day for the rest of my life. When the officiant pronounced us husband and wife, Ethan cheered louder than anyone. At the reception, Ryan approached me. You look happy, he said. I am. Good. You deserve it. He paused. I'm glad things worked out for you, Elena. Despite everything I did to try to destroy you. You didn't destroy me, Ryan. You just made me stronger. I'm glad. He glanced at Michael, who was dancing with Ethan. He's good to you? He's everything you should have been but weren't. Ryan nodded. Then I'm glad you found him. As he walked away, I felt a sense of closure I'd never expected. Ryan would always be part of my life because he was Ethan's father. But he was no longer the center of my story. I was. 5 years after my rebirth, I stood on a stage accepting an award for our company's contributions to neonatal care. In the audience sat Michael, Ethan, David, Jessica, all the people who'd helped me build this second life. 5 years ago, I said into the microphone, I was told I would never amount to anything without someone to support me. I was told my value came from who I was married to, not what I could accomplish on my own. I looked at Ryan in the back row, holding his new daughter. I was told that choosing myself was selfish, that walking away from a bad situation made me a quitter, that raising a child alone made me irresponsible. I turned to Ethan, now 8 years old, watching me with pride. I'm here to tell you that all of that was wrong. Choosing yourself isn't selfish. It's survival. Walking away from toxicity isn't quitting. It's wisdom. And raising a child alone doesn't make you irresponsible. It makes you a warrior. The audience applauded, but I kept going. I died once in another version of my life. I died believing I was nothing without the man who destroyed me. But I was reborn with knowledge, the knowledge that my worth isn't determined by who loves me, but by who I choose to be. I looked at Michael, who mouthed, I love you. So to anyone out there struggling, to anyone who feels trapped by their choices, to anyone who thinks it's too late to start over, it's not. You can always choose yourself. You can always walk away. You can always rebuild. I held up the award. This isn't just mine. It belongs to every woman who chose herself when everyone told her not to. Every mother who raised children alone. Every person who walked away from comfort to find truth. This is for all of us. As I left the stage, Ethan ran up and hugged me. I'm proud of you, Mama. I'm proud of you too, sweetheart. Why? I didn't do anything. You gave me a reason to rebuild. You gave me purpose when I had none. You made me want to be better. Michael joined us. Ready to go home? Yes. As we walked to the car, I thought about both my lives, the one where I died broken and forgotten, and this one where I'd built something that mattered. In my first life, I'd given everything to a man who saw me as disposable. In this life, I'd given everything to myself and built something indestructible. The difference was everything. That night, after Ethan was asleep and Michael was reading in bed, I stood at my son's doorway watching him breathe. In another life, he'd never existed. I died before he was born, my pregnancy a secret I'd taken to the grave. This time he was here. Real. Mine. Thank you, I whispered to whatever force had given me this second chance. Thank you for letting me come back. Thank you for letting me choose differently. Thank you for letting me live. Elena. Michael called from our room. You coming to bed? Yeah. Just checking on Ethan. I took one last look at my son, the child I'd protected, the child I'd raised alone, the child who'd given me purpose when I had none. Then I went to my husband, the man who'd chosen me when I was whole, not when I was broken. And I felt for the first time in either of my lives completely at peace. I had died once for a man who didn't deserve me. I had lived twice for myself. And that made all the difference.